Hey, what's going on, guys? Coming again here. In this video we're going to be coding like it's 1979, believe it or not. So I found an absolutely fascinating BASIC interpreter. So BASIC is a programming language that was embedded into the very first computers, home computers of 80s, and it was all the operating system basically. So just so the computer boots into the BASIC interpreter, and then you can just input the code line by line. Then you have a few commands to run the code, to save it to the tape. There was no hard drive back in the day, to load the code from the tape, and that's kind of it. So without further ado, let's actually start. Okay, so the line of code should start from the line number, so I can say 10 print and hello world like this. Okay, and then we also can print several arguments, so let's say hello, and then just to put a space, make it like so, and then we can use expression, let's say like this. Okay, and in order to run the program, there is the run command. Here we go. Now if we want to list our program, we can use the list command. If we want to save, we can simply say save, and let's call it prog.bas, and we have the program ready in the file. Let's make it new list, so we no longer have anything in the memory. However, if we say load and prog.bas and list again, then we have our program back. Now if let's say we input the line number and nothing else and hit enter, then we just drop that line, and if we want to replace the line, we can just input the line number and input whatever new content for that line that we want. So let's say x equals to 10. Okay, it's in the old school way, it would be like let x equal to 10, but PyBasic supports just x equal to 10 variable assignment as well. Now let's have a look at the conditionals. So let's say if x equals to 10, then go to line number 30, otherwise go to line number 40. Okay, so line number 30 would be, let's say, print x equals to 10 is true, and line 40 will say print x equals to 10 is false. Okay, and now we'll run the code. So okay, now you might be wondering why it prints both results. Well, it's not because the program doesn't work properly, it's rather because it goes to line 30, and after if x is equal to 10, and it goes to line 30, but then it just goes further on. So if we want to prevent that sort of a behavior, we can put the line in between saying stop. Okay, so let's run this again, and now we have x equals to 10 is true, so, and we no longer going anywhere else. And now let's say we say like so what's number 10, so 10 let x equals to 20, let's say, and list the program. Okay, so now we have x20, so if x equals to 10, go to 30, then otherwise go to line 40. So now it should print x equals to 10 is false. So let's have a look. Okay, and now we have x equals to 10 is false. Okay, great. So let's create a new program, and let's have a look at the loops. So I can say for I equals to 0 to, let's say, 10. Okay, then what we want to do within the loop, so let's say print and number is and space and I, and then 30 we need to say next I, and that's the way to go. So if I just print run, and now I should print the numbers from 0 to 9, from 0 to 10, sorry, yeah. Okay, but this is not the most hardcore way of doing loops. So another way to do it is by using the mighty go to, which at some point mimics the while loop. So let's create the new program, and let's say let's create the variable count, so that count equals to 0, 20. I want to increment the count, so count equals count plus 1, and then 30 I want to print, and number, and the count, and then 40. I can say if count is less than 10, then I want to say go to 20. So that is following. So we initialize in the counter, then we increment the count, printing the number, the count number, and then if it's less to 10, then we'll loop back to line 20, and we'll repeat this until the count variable gets the value of 10 basically. So let's have a look how it works. So it's the same loop, but using the mighty goto, as I like to say. Okay, so as you've already could have guessed, then this goto is just an unconditional jump. So we just adjust the instruction pointer. So in this case, like every line, so instruction pointer is which kind of line is going to be executed just right in the moment. I'm just trying to avoid some complicated terms, because really it's programming, it's more like about, because most of my subscribers are more like about high-level languages and have no idea about, let's say, C or assembly, so just try to keep the explanation simple. Okay, and now let's have a look at so-called function definition. Well, it's not real functions in terms of what we use to call functions nowadays, but anyway, so let's say print like program starts. Okay, and then let's say goes up, and let's say line 30, no, let's say line 40. Okay, like this, and then 30, and we stop here, and then line 40 would be the beginning of our function. So print like entered function. Okay, now let's say print some expression, and I'm sorry, and then we can say return. Okay, and yeah, probably let's add one more line. So before we stop, let's say 25, let's say print and returned from function. Okay, and let's have a look at the output. So program starts. Okay, then it just jumps to line 40. Okay, and then we are within the function territory, so just printing some of the value within the function, then it returns back. So return statement makes the instruction pointer pointing back to line 20. Okay, and then it goes to line 25. Well, let's list the program because it's better to see it like so. So again, like, so we start line 10, so instruction pointer points to line 10, program starts, then it points to the next one, to the next line, line 20 goes up 40, we go in, so instruction pointer goes to line 40, then we are within the function territory, printing that we just, let's run this again, print that the function starts, now program starts, yeah, enter the function, then some value in the function, then returning from the function. So return statement on line number 60 brings the instruction pointer back to line 20. Okay, and then it goes further on, it goes to 25, so it says like return from function, which is true, and then line 30 we stop. So this stop operator was intended to prevent the program from the further running, and that was the exact way of how to distinguish the main code from subroutines. Okay, so let's start the new program, and probably one last thing I'd like to demonstrate is the data statement and how to initialize, how to define the constants, and then how to initialize variables you relying on those constants. Well, in this in PyBasic, it's really simplified. Let's say on ZX Spectrum Basic, it was a little bit more enhanced. But anyway, I hope you get the idea. So yeah, let's start a new one. So 10, and we're using the data keyword. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's say 5. It's enough. And then 20, we can say read and A, B, C, D, E, and then 30 we can print and A, B, C, D, E, and run. So in this case, this is kind of like a bulk initialization of the variables, but it's not the most ever intriguing thing, and the most ever intriguing thing is to initialize arrays. So let's have a look at the arrays first, and then we'll have a look how we can initialize arrays from the pre-initialized constants using the data keyword. So let's start a new one. Okay, so in order to define an array in BASIC, we use the dim keyword, and then we need to specify how many elements. So let's say 5 elements. If we want two-dimensional array, we can say like this. If we want three-dimensional array, we can say like this. But I'll be sticking to the two-dimensional array. Okay, so now to initialize so if you just try to print, it gives an error because the array is empty. So sorry, just 10. I forgot to give it a name, so I need to say dim and then the array name. So let's call it array r error and 5 elements. So let's run it to make sure it works. Okay, so 20. Now let's say array indexed by 0 is equal to 1. Okay, now let's say array indexed by 1 is equal to 2. Obviously we can do this within the loop. So 40, let's print array 1 and array 2. So we do print the values of array. Oh, sorry, yeah, that's because I'm trying to print the empty values. So let's say that's the error I wanted to show as well. So yeah, print the first element is indexed by 0, obviously, and the second element is indexed by 1. Now it should work. Yeah, so we have 1 and we have 2. So if we want to split them, then obviously something like print array 0 and then the comma and then array indexed by 1, and here we go. Okay, so let's start again, let's start the new program one more time, and well, let's start by creating the data constant. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now let's create the array of 10 elements. Okay, and now we can't read directly into array, and also we can use a read within the for loop. It was possible in ZX Basic, but it's not possible in PyBasic. So in PyBasic we'll use the while-like go-to loop. So here I'll define the count. So let count equals to 0, and then let's start with printing the count to make sure that we have the proper number of times this code being executed. Okay, so here count equals count plus 1. Okay, and 60, the mighty go-to. So if count is less than 10, right? Is less than 10, then go to and 40. Yeah, probably I should put the print loop, print within. Okay, let's run it first. Okay, so 0, 1, 2. No, it works perfectly well. Okay, so now instead of print, we can use read again. So, and not only read, but also then we will adjust the variable that will read the data into to the array itself, to the array itself. So instead of print, so let's say 35, line 35. We can say read and whatever variable, let's call it variable. Okay, and let's list. And now instead of print 40, I want to say array indexed by the count would be equal to, we could also say let here to make it a bit more hardcore. Array 0 equals to and the variable, right? And the variable, okay, let's list. So data, defining the array, count, read variable, no, not array, sorry, it's run 40, it should be let array indexed by the count, obviously, equals to variable. Okay, and list. Okay, read variable. Okay, count. Yeah, and now let's say 70 print and array index by 1. Let's say it should be equal to 2, right? Okay, let's print. Let's run the code. It's equal to 1 for some reason. Okay, 70 print array indexed by 0. Hold on a sec. Oh, that's probably because of the let keyword. Okay, so let's get rid of that. So 40, let's say array indexed by count equals to variable. So I guess I'm just pretty new to this stuff. And let's list again, and let's run. What? Array couldn't be found in line 40. Oh, just a typo. Array count equals to variable. It's a bit strange. Okay, I got the issue here. So it goes to line 40. It doesn't go to but it should go to line 35 to read the variable again. Okay, I'm sorry guys. So 60. If count is less than 10, then go to 35 and list. And yeah, here we go. So now we have, yeah, the index of 3 gives the number of 4, which is correct. Now let's print all the variables that we've just initialized to the array. Okay, so let's say for n equals 0 to, I guess, to 9, because it would be included, right? I'm sorry, yeah, 80 for n equals to 0 to 9. And then I want to print array indexed by n, sorry, 90, print array indexed by n, and 100s next n, and like this. So let's list our program. Okay, and it now should print the values from the array, but now it already like now the array has now the values from our data constants has been initialized to this array. And let's say if you want to do the same thing but for strings, it's gonna be a little bit different. So to handle strings, we can simply say like data, and let's say string 1, and oh, let's say like hi code monkey king. Hi code monkey king 1 2 3 4. How are you? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. How are you, man? How are you doing, man? Now it should be 10. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, so now it will give us an error because we actually can't we can use, so in order to define the string array in line 20, well, just run to give you an idea regarding the errors. We have the non-numeric input provided. So 20, I need to say dim, and then array and the $sign and the 10 elements array and list. And now the set line number 70, I want to print and array, and this is a new name for that array. Yeah, let's say 3, and also line 90. So print array $sign and n. So let's list the program. Okay, and here we go. Okay, line 35. Yeah, so yeah, it's another little thing. Line 35, we need to say read, and variable would be like this with a $sign. And in this case, in line 40, we need to say no, not in line 40, in line 40. Yeah, that's literally rewriting the entire code. Okay, so array like this, and indexed by the count equals to variable like this, list. Okay, insufficient constants in line 35. Hold on a sec. Yes, probably it's yeah, let's just try to, if count is less than 9, then go to 35. Okay, empty array value in. Okay, and the very last one, 80. We just have one less for n, one less element equals to 0 to 8, and here we go. Well, okay guys, this is it from my side. I hope you've enjoyed the very basic programming language as people could write code in back in 1979. So this is it from my side. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, and take care.